Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Maverick Mompreneur podcast. I'm your host, Ashley, and today we are going to be talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart and something that I preach all the time and that I practice just as often, and that is aligning all of the elements of your brand. And this episode is especially exciting because what I want to do is give you a sneak peek into the core concepts of my philosophy in building a brand, but also my course, Align Your Brand, where I teach how to ensure that every aspect of your business is really in harmony and feels really authentic to you and then therefore to your target audience. Because at the end of the day, that's how you're going to stand out the most, even in a saturated market, is by being the expression of yourself, and that even goes for within your business. So whether you are just starting out in building a brand or you're really looking to refine your brand, maybe even rebrand from a place of more alignment, stay tuned because this episode is gonna be good. Before we jump in though, I want to just make it clear that our sponsor for today's episode is the Align Your Brand course. This is a course that I created about 3 years ago, but I've just recently revamped it, expanded it, and it is 2024 updated and super fire. So if you're ready to take your brand to the next level and ensure that every element of your business is aligned and thriving, this course is the deep dive for you. It is going to set you up to have such a solid foundation for your brand and business. I just can't even. I'm so excited. More on that later, but for now, let's get started with today's topic. So if you are interested in that after our show is over or right now, click on the link in the show notes or go to elevatedwithashley.com/align and you can find out a ton more information. So let's talk about the importance of alignment in branding. So first of all, when I talk about alignment, I want you to get this image in your mind. If you've ever had back issues, you know how important it is for your spine to be aligned. One little vertebrae is the itty bitty bit off. You're not going to be moving very well. There's certainly not going to be any ease and flow to that. However, when your spine is in alignment, given there's no disc issues, which I have, this is hitting close to home, you are going to move in an optimal way. And it's the same with your brand. When all of the elements or, vertebrae of your brand are aligned, everything from your personality, your values, your vision, to your content and your monetization strategies work together seamlessly, and that's where you get that flow state that comes in when it comes to building your business. And further than that, it also creates this really consistent, authentic experience for your audience, which is super magnetic, and it builds trust and makes your brand that much more memorable. There are several really core elements to focus on for achieving brand alignment. One of the very first and the most foundational is ensuring that your brand reflects your personality and your values. This means being really clear on what you stand for and letting that shine through in everything you do, in the content that you create. And your vision should guide your brand's direction, your brand's goals, and ensure that every decision that you make is in line with that bigger picture, that vision. So if you're not clear on that and you're just listlessly sailing through the brand building journey, that's not alignment. And when it comes to your personality, one of the biggest pieces of alignment that I have found for both myself and within clients is knowing whether you're an introvert or an extrovert and aligning your schedule and the types of offers and your structure accordingly so that you are not burnt out and that you are given life in whichever way you receive that energy. So whether that's through solitude more often than not, or whether that's by people's energy and getting that through interaction. So there's lots of different ways to build an online business. There's lots of different ways to build a brand, but knowing your own personality and your values is really important. And that's one reason in Align Your Brand why I include a personality and values assessment so that you can know what elements may need to be aligned or realigned. And that may be part of why it's been tough to move forward in a feeling of flow and ease and fun, because you may be off in that category. And that's huge. Next up, you want to consider your brand's purpose and its different differentiators. Your purpose is the why behind your brand. So why do you do what you do beyond just making money? If you're in business, obviously one of your whys is to make money. But with our types of personal brands and businesses, it has to go beyond that. Your differentiators are what are going to set you apart from other competition in your industry. And so identifying what those differentiators are helps you to really create a unique standout brand that is going to resonate with your audience. Your ideal clients are going to see you, know you, love you, and want to follow and purchase from you. But you have to make sure that you're letting those differentiators shine through and be known so that you stand out from other people doing things similar. Another really important component of aligning your brand is your brand identity. And your brand identity is just a fancy way of saying this is all the visual elements that someone can see of your brand, or verbal elements, because your voice and your tone that comes through in your content is a part of your brand identity. It's what people see and know of you from the outset, so how they recognize your brand. This can be your logo, your colors, your fonts, your tone of voice, your message, and being consistent and aligned amongst all of those things really make sure that every interaction that someone has with your brand reinforces your overall message of who you are, what you stand for, and it feels really cohesive. And so that alignment right there is a very important and often overlooked part of branding. Next up, it is important to understand your niche, your ideal client avatar, and your target audience. Because when you know exactly who you're serving or seeking to serve, you can tailor your offerings, your communication, your marketing to meet their specific pain points, their challenges, their desires. And if you have clarity and alignment around that, it greatly helps you with attracting and retaining the right audience for your brand and offerings. And this is how you end up with customers and clients that you absolutely adore working with. I think about my members, the Maverick Society, and the proof is in the pudding there for me that if you're in alignment with your brand, you really do attract people that you are just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to work with these women. It's amazing. And so it's worth putting in the time and the effort to make sure all these elements are aligned. For that reason alone, it just makes business and work not seem like that at all, because you get to work with the clients you get to. It's really, really cool. Next step, I think this is one that most people focus on, which is creating content. But we want to make sure that we're creating content that serves and also converts. That's another huge part of brand alignment. If you're not sure how to create content that's on brand and also serves your audience, nurtures your audience, but also converts to sales, you're not going to be having very much fun in your business. It's not very fun to never make any sales. And it's also not fun to realize, well, I don't even know if my content is impacting anyone because I'm not getting any engagement. So anyway, your content should provide value and engage your audience, but also have a strategic way to guide them to become your customers. And part of that is knowing what is the right tone and voice to your content that's going to make that connection with your audience to really activate them and drive those conversions. So creating content and aligning that piece and all of these things, again, I want you to visualize a vertebrae of your brand. All these things are aligning, and if one piece is off, it's not going to flow. So we're aligning the entire brand backbone, if you will. I'm actually making a motion with my hand, like illustrating a backbone, but you can't see that. So it's kind of funny sitting here in my office doing that with myself. And then next step, obviously a part of a brand, a profitable brand anyway, is monetizing your brand. And so making sure that the monetization strategy that you have is aligned with your brand's values, but also the needs of your audience. So figuring out what are you going to offer and how, whether it's through products or services or whatever revenue stream you choose, your monetization strategy should really feel like it's just a natural extension of yourself, a natural extension of your brand. And this alignment makes sure that your business remains authentic and trustworthy, but also profitable. Take, for example, back in the day when I was monetizing through network marketing, MLM, and I was building a team and recruiting and making income from downline sales and bonuses and things like that. And I was, by all intents and purposes, kind of killing it. But then once I realized that monetization wasn't in alignment with me and my values and the way I wanted to do things, I made a big pivot, which a lot of people got very annoyed with, and I've recorded episodes on my rationale for exactly why, so I won't get into that here. But maintaining the standards that I have for myself and the way that I want to build a business and the way that I monetize is really important to me. And so for everyone, that's going to look different. And for every personality, and remember that introvert, extrovert, all of these things really play in. And if you're getting burnt out doing something, it could be because one of these elements is out of alignment. It could be the whole monetization strategy, or it could just be a piece of the puzzle is slightly off when it comes to being in alignment. And then lastly, there's two really important categories, and this was probably my favorite lesson. It's the last lesson in Align Your Brand, but I think it's probably the most overlooked. And that's time management and having your own aligned definition of success. So managing your time strategically, so aligning your calendar to reflect your values personally, and then also the values in your business and those activities that you prioritize to avoid burnout, stay productive. That is so, so important. And then moreover, defining what is enough for you. What does success look like for you beyond just like your financial gains and your revenue and all of those numbers? That's going to keep you focused on what truly matters to you. What does success look like? So for me, that looks like being able to take a day off if my daughter is sick and not really have to worry about anything, like taking time off, asking for time off. Maybe I'm not making $100,000 a month like I would love to be making, but success to me, that's not in my definition of success. Success to me is being available for my daughter when she needs me, whenever she needs me, and being happy. And both of those things I have. So I'm successful. Anything else is a cherry on the top. And so that keeps you focused on what truly matters and then in alignment with your personal and your business goals. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make a good income and covering all of your bills and beyond and being able to buy a yacht or whatever you want. But it's important to know what is your definition versus the world's definition or your parents' definition or this other person over in left field's definition of success. So that's all I have for you today. If you found today's episode helpful and you want to dive deeper into aligning every element that we talked about today, then Align Your Brand truly is the perfect course for you. This course is designed to guide you step by step through aligning personality, values, your vision, and every aspect of your brand and business to create a cohesive, authentic, and profitable brand. Plus, it's packed with actionable worksheets to ensure that you're not just learning, but you're also implementing, you're thinking through things and hopefully seeing results as you implement. You can head to elevatedwithashley.com/align to enroll today, or you can always check out the membership because Align Your Brand and all of my courses are included while you're a Maverick Society member. And then you get the option and the benefit of being able to ask me questions Monday through Friday, jumping onto our weekly live hot seat coaching call at staggered times every week, and also joining in on our weekly co-working productivity sessions so that you have those work blocks defined to get things done and make this happen. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Maverick Mompreneur podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, I would love if you would share this with your biz besties, share it in your stories, tag me. I would love to reshare you for sharing me, and make sure to subscribe and leave a review. It means so much and it really does help keep the podcast growing, keep it free, and don't forget to come follow me on Instagram at Ashley R. Latimer for daily tips and inspiration on building a sustainable, profitable, aligned brand and business. Until next time, keep building and aligning your brand. Cheers as always to your impact.